Ba 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 da ba ba da 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 da. Hey, hello there, world history people. Let's learn all about the Reformation today. Today is how Christianity went from one religion to being like 1,000 religions, and it's generally going to be about the story of two very famous people who made these changes happen. And I'll deep dive in all of that right now. So let's get on it. So this is what the map of Europe will look like when the Reformation is over. The Catholic Church used to control almost all of Europe, but now Europe is going to have so many different versions of Christianity, we can't even count them all. And this guy right here is Martin Luther, not Martin Luther King Jr. That man was named after this man, but the original dude, a German guy, Martin Luther, is just getting hated on by the Pope, the bishops, and all the cardinals. And yeah, this is really the graph chart of what's going to happen today. The Roman Catholic Church and the Orthodox Church had split before, but now the Roman Catholic Church is going to split into Protestantism, which is going to have thousands of denominations. So there's going to be so many versions of Christianity, we can't keep up with them anymore. All right, so let's begin. So during this new Renaissance period, people were now beginning to question some of the actions of the all-powerful Catholic Church. Because during the Middle Ages, the church really ran everything. They controlled education. They were sort of like above your kings and your lords and the government systems. And the church forced people to pay them money every Sunday. If you didn't pay your church tithe, well, then you're condemned as a witch and they could kill you. So that would suck. But this was another way the church made money by selling something called indulgences. And indulgences are simply just a piece of paper that a priest wrote on, probably in fancy letters, let's be honest. And the piece of paper said you could buy your way into heaven for you, for one of your family members, or even for some of your family members who are already dead. So priests were saying, if you pay us money, we'll write their name on this paper, we'll pray to that paper, and then their soul will be brought up to heaven even when they're already dead. And people believed this stuff, and all kinds of people were paying huge amounts of money to buy these indulgence certificates. And then the Catholic Church even switched it up and said, like, hey, do you want to cheat on your wife? We can give you a one-day indulgence that'll allow you to be morally okay with Jesus, and you can, cheat on your wife for one night. You just got to pay us $1,000. Like, so they were basically trying to make money and make profit out of the Christian church, and people were falling for it, but it's definitely a morally messed up system. Okay, so those are indulgences. So yeah, this guy's selling some indulgences right there. There's people lining up to buy all them indulgence papers. And yeah, let me give you a primary source here. So a 1517 indulgence from Friar John Teasel reads this: by the authority of all the saints, and in mercy towards you, I absolve you from all sins and misdeeds, and remit all punishments for 10 days. So, what? 10 days? That's such a joke. Okay. And yeah, I'll have a really good video linked with this as well. It just sort of shows you how these guys were basically professional salesmen. They weren't really church people. And yeah, that's the actual German of what I just read to you. And yeah, indulgences, step right up. We've got a special for 1895. You or a loved one can buy your way into heaven. Okay, that's really messed up. And also during this time period, the popes were just bad human beings. Okay, the popes are supposed to be the best Christians in the world. They're supposed to be elected to like lead the Christian faith and to help people who are in need. But there were these two Italian families, the Medici and the Borgia, who basically just took turns of being the popes of the Roman Catholic Church and then just stealing so much money for themselves. They got crazy wealthy. They lived these decadent lifestyles. They slept with multiple women. They built multiple mansions, ate fancy food all the time. One of the popes even sold the position of being the pope away. He's like, being the pope's too much work. Give me $10 million and I'll make you pope. And like, so there was so much corruption, and it really wasn't a good system to promote the values that are mentioned in the Bible. So yeah, the Borgias, really messed up people, and the Medici family just taking turns being the Pope. Okay, and now here's one of the main characters of today's lesson. Martin Luther was a Catholic monk, and he was a dude who just really thought outside the box. And his whole young life, like, this guy read the Bible, and I'm pretty confident he memorized the Bible. Like, that takes some skill. And when he was a young man, Martin Luther finally decided to leave Germany, and he walked all the way to Rome on this like religious mission. He's like, "Oh, I'm gonna go to the city where the Pope is, and I'm gonna feel all these great feelings of love and Christianity, and I'm gonna see how people in the center of the Christian world practice the faith, and I'll learn some stuff." And when Martin Luther gets to Rome, he's just disgusted by what he sees. He sees priests like buying the services of prostitutes. He sees the Pope riding around in golden armor. And he's like, this isn't charity and compassion. This is really messed up. And so Martin Luther really put a lot of thought into it. And he says the Catholic Church is taking the message of the Christian faith in the wrong way. And I'm going to do something about it. And he certainly will. So let's read some quotes by Martin Luther. If you want to change the world, pick up your pen and write. And I cannot and will not recant anything, for to go against conscience is neither right nor safe. Here I stand. I can do no other. So help me God. Amen. Man, really epic guy. Martin Luther. Okay, so in 1517, Luther posted a declaration of protest against the Catholic Church. He just nailed it on the door of the big church in Germany. And it was really just a bullet-pointed list of 95 things he says are wrong with the way the Catholic Church is going about business. And so many of those things were about money. And he's like, the church is basically charging people to be holy and to be a part of Christianity. That's really messed up. And yeah, he had really good arguments. And I have sections of the 95 Theses. We can read them at the class. And his main message was this: money should have no relationship to going to heaven. It's all about believing in Jesus, believing in God, being a good person. You don't have to pay to pray. And eventually, the Catholic Church tried to, well, they excommunicated him. They kicked him out of the Catholic Church, first of all, and then they sent assassins to try to kill him. And a bunch of people were like, hey, Martin Luther, the Catholic Church isn't abiding by your rules. We think your rules are great. What should we do? Well, Luther decided to create his own version of Christianity called Lutheranism, and this version of Christianity is still a big thing today. So, yeah, there's a lot of Lutherans here in the United States. So let's check it out. Yeah, he did it on Halloween, 1517. How cool is that? And then I got 95 problems and a Pope ate one. That's true. And then here is the crest of the Lutheran faith. Word alone, faith alone, grace alone. You don't have to pay to get to heaven. And here's some other things that Luther eventually believed. He rejected that the Pope was holier than any other Christian. And Catholics, I'm not entirely sure what a Catholic would say to that today, but I would imagine Catholics say that the Pope is like one step to Jesus and to God. But Luther says, nope, we don't talk to the Pope, we don't care about the Pope, we don't like the Pope. He also said that the Christian religion is for all people. No one is above anyone else. Like, a baby has the same amount of holiness as an 80-year-old man who studied the Bible his entire life. Like, everyone's equal in faith. He even wrote a simpler version of the Bible because the Catholic Bible is like kind of complicated and hard to interpret some stuff, but Luther made it simple, easy to read, and wrote it in German. What a other thing there. So, yep, there's the Gutenberg Lutheran Bible, and, yep, the Lutheran Church here in the United States. There's a lot of them. So, yeah, as I mentioned before, the Pope sent assassins to try to kill Luther, but a lot of people, especially in Germany, rallied behind Luther and protected him, and it caused this huge sort of civil war called the Peasants' War. And all these countries were trying to take out these Lutherans, say, you got to be Catholic or we'll kill you. They fought back, and eventually the peasants won. So the Pope kind of just gave up on Germany, and the Catholics lost Germany, and Germany's been a Lutheran country ever since. So there you go. Here are the peasants fighting back, killing all kinds of the Pope's people. There they are fighting for their religion, and the Lutherans are victorious. Okay, so after this war, other Christian reformers popped up all over Europe, just like Martin Luther. They read the Bible, and they decided to have some different interpretations as well. Notably, there was this guy in France named John Calvin. He had some interesting ideas. He created a religion called Calvinism, and he said that anything you do in your life does not matter. Like, the moment you're born, God decided whether you're going to heaven or hell, so whatever. The Calvin religion isn't a big deal anymore. But also, sort of shoot-offs of Martin Luther's ideas were the Anabaptists, the Anglicans, the Baptists, and these are people that will eventually get kicked out of Europe and settle in the United States. And that's why in the United States today we've got so many different versions of Christianity, because people sort of followed in Martin Luther's example, reinterpreted the Bible, came up with some unique ways of interpreting the religion. And all these 1,000+ versions of Christianity are collectively called Protestantism. So they're sort of protesting the Pope, saying the Pope doesn't tell us what to do, but we're still kind of in the overall Christian umbrella. So that's what this whole unit's about. All right, so yep, the Germans and the Swedes, Norwegians, Denmark, they all kind of became Lutheran, and other religions are popping up around Europe too. And here's what it looks like in the United States. Where we are here in Clark County, most Christians follow the Catholic Church, but there's a whole lot of Lutherans up here in the Dakotas and Minnesota, and a whole lot of Baptists in the South. So, yep, there's different versions of Christianity all over this country, as you can see. All right, so this will be for the next time. So peace out.